Hello everyone, my name is Claudia from Claudia's Creations, and today I'm going to be joining a collaboration. Okay, and the collaboration is going to be called The Talented Creators, and the host is Aurea from DIY with Aurea, Loli from Loli's Creations. And the guest host is Michelle from the Southern Shell. And today, our theme is anything harvest. So let's get on with our video and I'll let you know what I'm going to be creating today. So today, I'm going to be using foam clay and beads, some toothpicks that create, and we're going to be creating harvest foods. And here we're cleaning up our spot because we are going to start by making gourds. And what I do is I put a toothpick in that bead, add some glue to it, some hot glue, okay? Then I'm going to grab a piece of the foam clay, all right? And I'm going to wrap it around the gourd, okay? I'm showing you the pumpkin. I showed you the pumpkin that I'm going to be using too. So I'm going to be using pumpkins that are already made. So I'm not going to make none. I'm going to make gourds. And I'm going to make two different ones. And what I do is I roll it out. Then I'm going to roll it into the toothpick all the way up, almost making it like a pear shape, but putting a dent in it a little bit because gourds are a little bit bent. Then I'm going to take it and make some little crease lines there, okay, because they have like perforated lines, okay. And I'm going to make the other one. I'm going to roll it. There you go. And then I'm going to do the same thing. Smooth it out. Bend it a little bit. Then do the little lines. And then we're going to set that in front of the fan to dry. And everything that I create, I'm going to be sticking in that styrofoam to dry in front of the fan so it dries fast. And that's what I like about foam clay. It dries real fast. There, I take the largest beads. And then I'm taking that and I am putting the toothpicks in it with the hot glue. And now we're going to be making, I think it's the apples. We're making the apples. So I take it and I roll it a little bit. No, I'm making peppers, I think it's that I'm making now. Yeah, I'm making the peppers. So I'm going to make 3 different peppers, okay? There's going to be a green one, there's going to be a red one, and there's going to be a yellow one. Okay? And those had the lines all the way from the top to the bottom. Okay, and you see I take a toothpick and I start doing it with a toothpick. And then later on I change to another blade because the toothpick gets sticky. And there I roll it, see, like almost like a marshmallow, kind of, but just thinner towards the bottom and thicker towards the top, okay? And then I'm taking a wire and I'm going to twist the wire around. I'm putting 3 different wires and I'm going to twist them all together on the top, okay? As you see there, I'm twisting them. Then I'm going to take 3 tiny beads, well 4, 2 tiny ones and 2 medium-sized ones. And then I'm going to alternate them. I'm going to put hot glue and put them in each of the 4 little ends like that. And make like a cross, okay? And then I'm going to take some clay and I'm going to wrap it all around the balls and then I'm going to run it up towards the wire And then I'm going to crease in between each bead. And this we're making a garlic head. Okay? And then I clip the excess wire on the top. And then I pull some of it. And then I like spread the top to make it look like it's shredded on the top. Okay? And we set that to the side. Now I'm going to make 2 onions. I think, yep, I'm making 2 onions. All right. Oh no, I'm making 2 mushrooms. I'm out of shit. I'm out here. So what I did was I rolled it like an egg and pushed it through all the way through so it came out to the top. Then I roll a ball, flatten it in the palm of my hand, and that's the cap of the mushrooms. And then now I think it's that I'm making the onions. Yep. So I take it and roll it, the bead, and then what I do is I take and make like a little knob on the top. And that's like, when you cut the onion off. And then I'm going to put little crease lines in them. Okay. And then the little tippity top, I stick the toothpick in it to make like a little hole and then like rip it on the top so it looks like it's shredded. Okay. And that's 1 onion. And I'm making the other one. Once again, rolling it, flattening it out, put the bead in the middle, bring the point to the top, then flatten that point out, make the lines, poke the top, and there we go. Okay, now I'm making the corn. All right, so then I'm taking that and I'm rolling it like that, like in a triangle shape. And then I'm taking my knife here and I'm scoring it all the way around across, right? And then I'm going to come vertically and I'm going to do the indentions there. So that's the corn from the corn on the cob, okay? And that one was kind of big. I'm going to take that one apart again. Because when I make the second one, you see how nice and thin and smaller that is? The other one I thought was kind of too fat and I make it smaller. I think I do. I think it was, no, I don't. I don't do that. It's the carrot that I do that with. All right, so there I'm doing it again. And then I'm making the carrots and you're going to see what I mean. I take it and I put it in and look how fat that carrot is. I was like, oh, wait a second. That one was a bad one. So I do everything that I'm going to do. I score it all around and everything. And then I put it to dry. And then I start the second one. And I like the way the second one came out. So I pulled the first one. And then I take it and fix it. Here's the second one. I'm making that. And then I'm going to score it all around a little bit. And see, I take the first one again and I take out some more. And then I score it again and put it back. All right. Now I get 3 for the apples. And I put the toothpicks into the beads and the large beads. Okay. I get 3 of them. And then I take a ball of it and then I don't put it all the way up. You notice how I do the like marshmallow thing and I score it on the bottom. But you look at the top, you see how I left it a little bit open? You see right there? You see how I left it open on the top? Because apples on the top like go indented inward. Okay? So that way you could tell that the difference between the green peppers, the red pepper and the yellow pepper, and the red apple, the green apple, and the yellow apple. Okay? All right? And I only score the bottoms of my apples. Okay? Now, here I started to get ready for the grapes, and I was doing it one way, and it was not working out how I wanted. Um, so I left this in so you could see that I was attempting to do a grape, like a grapevine. So I changed my mind. So there I did it off camera at first, and now I'm going to show you how I do it on camera. So I take one bead, put it at the end. Then I go in through the other end and put in another bead and glue those two together. Then I take the wire and I bent it. And then I feed the next bead there and glue them together. Then I bend it again and add another one and glue that together. Then I add another bead and add that together. And then another bead and I glue that together until I have like a little cluster going upwards. Because as I keep bending the wire as I'm going up. And what I'm doing is I'm going like around the beads and getting wider and wider. Okay? And just adding the beads and gluing them together like a cluster. And don't worry if you see the wired, like grapes have vines. And if you see glue, don't worry because I'm going to hit it with the heat gun and melt all that glue all together. So you don't got to worry about that either. And I'm going to show you that. All right. See, and there it goes. I grab a little pliers, add the heat, and I melt all that glue, all the glue strings, and everything gets melted all together. Okay, and I do it to both of them. Now here I'm taking my crate and I'm gonna paint it buttermilk. Okay, I'm gonna paint all the inside, the top, and the sides. Okay, all four sides. Then after I do that, I'm gonna get burnt umber and I'm gonna dry brush it on the edges and then go in the middle like that, you see. And I'm gonna dry brush it pretty heavy because I want to make it look really old like. Then I take this piece of scrap ribbon that I had and another piece of ribbon that I had of mesh. Then I take these scissors and I clip that little tag and I write harvest in brown, and then I glue that fancy ribbon from Dollar Tree. That was from years and years ago. And then there I add that, and then I add the little sign. Now that little sign I change it. I write it in black then later, and you'll see that. Okay, and then now we're gonna start painting everything. So I paint the first gourd with Kelly green, burnt umber, and buttermilk. Okay, those are the colors that I'm using. And the crease lines, after I colored it with paint, I painted it with Kelly green. I went into all the line creases, and I took a really thin brush and I outlined those lines, and then I put little dots, and then I took them little dots and added brown on top of it. Okay, like that, to make it look like they're like the little pimples that they have, like. Okay, and then I set that to the side. Then we're gonna do the orange one. So I take pumpkin orange from my apple barrel. Okay, and I go to paint the gourd all orange. And after I paint it orange, I take the buttermilk and do the same thing as I did with the other one. Do the lines, do the little dots, and then do the little brown dots. But on the top, I brush it a little bit more with the buttermilk. Okay, so to give it that, just to highlight it a little bit on the top. Okay, and then I set that to the side. And now I am painting my green peppers. And then I'm painting the yellow pepper. Oh, and I mixed the yellow with a little bit of orange, and then it was too orangey. So then I took that mix and mixed it with the yellow, and that made it better. So there, you see, it looks better. So I did that one. Then, since I was working with the yellow, I said, oh, well, let me do the corn. So I did the corn. And then I did the other yellow apple. I did the yellow apple. You see that? And then I dot the yellow apple a little bit with brown and dust it with a little bit of green and a little bit of brown just to highlight it. Because yellow apples aren't actually completely yellow. They have like little brown spots in them sometimes, like little freckles. And then they have like a green little tint to them. Okay? And then I'll do my little green apple. Dry brushing it a little bit with the buttermilk. Then I do the little brown dots on them too. Okay, like so. And I put that to dry. Then and I do the the lines on the bottom in brown, to highlight, to bring it out. Okay, but I blend it in. Here I'm painting the carrot. I'm painting it orange. And then I'm cleaning my brush and doing the little brown little lines on my carrot. Do the other one. Do the same. I do the little brown lines. I set that to dry. Then I get the red and I mix a little bit of the burnt umber in there. And I do my apple first. The apple came out so cute too. I like that apple. It came out perfect. Okay, and then I'm gonna do the red pepper. Now with the red pepper, I take in the lines. I go over it with a little bit of brown. I dust it over with it. Okay, to give it more of like that, because the peppers are like a burgundy more than a red. Okay, kind of. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Then here I take the buttermilk and paint the bottom part of my mushroom. And then I take dark chocolate and paint the top of my mushrooms. Then I do the other one. And then with the dirty brush, well, first I paint the bottom. And then with the dirty brush of the burnt umber, I just rub over top a little bit and underneath, like to give it the brown tones, okay, of the mushroom. Because I didn't want it to be like a fairy tale mushroom. I want it to be a mushroom that it looks like one that we eat. Okay, and here I'm taking the garlic. I'm painting it with buttermilk. And then I'm going to dry brush it. After I dry it, you see how I dried it a little bit? So I can set it down because I'm going to dry brush it with the brown, okay? And then I'm going to go over it again very lightly with the buttermilk just to hide a little bit of those brown lines, so it's faint. Then I do the same thing with the onion. I do the same exact thing that I did with the garlic. I do it with that onion. Then I'm going to make a purple onion or a red onion, however you want to call it. And I don't really paint it. I like dry brush it with the burgundy. And then I also go over it with the dry brush of the buttermilk. Okay, and then here I'm painting my green grapes. And I'm just painting them all over, painting all the beads, making them green. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the other was I'm gonna use the burgundy wine, and I'm gonna paint them with that because a lot of people will be like, grapes are purple. No, they're not purple. They're wine color, so they're like a burgundy wine. Like, and that's exactly what I painted them, burgundy wine. So I painted those burgundy wine, and I don't do complete coverage because I wanted the gold highlights to come through a little bit on um, the burgundy ones. Then I take the crate, I stuff it with the foam and some Spanish moss. Okay, and then here I'm gonna decorate, and I'm gonna let you listen to music while I decorate. Okay, and I'll be back. Okay, now we're on to our final review. And this is what it looks like. Isn't that so cute? Now, I had mentioned that I was waiting for a shipment from Amazon, and that's the little white box you see on the bottom. And I'm going to be using that to showcase my items from now on. Look at that. It spins. And you'll be able to see it all. Okay, and I'll put that down in the description below just in case if you want to buy one, and you can showcase anything with it. I'm not getting paid for it or nothing like that. This is just something that I'm mentioning that I invested some money on and I thought was great. And I also wanted to let you know that if you want to donate anything to my channel, I have Buy Me a Coffee. I also have my email there if you want to send me anything like merchandise, or you want me to create something, you can send it to me there. Well, you could talk to me by email, and I'll give you an address where you can send the stuff to. All right. And please, I want enjoy the playlist, okay? Because there's many talented creators there, and Loli and Aurea and Michelle. They're great, great crafters, okay? And there's a lot of amazing crafters there, okay? Go enjoy the list. I want to say thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for coming to watch me today. Stay tuned for my next video. I'm going to be putting out a Halloween video. And then after that is what would you make collaboration. Then we start October 1st with our 12 days of Christmas. So stay tuned. Subscribe so you don't miss out on all the fun. We will be doing so many different creations. I love you guys, and I thank you once again. Welcome to my channel. Like, share, and subscribe, okay? So you stay blessed. Be good. Have faith in the Lord, because He's always there for you and He will always provide. Love you guys. Stay blessed. Bye-bye.